Hey guys, I got a really quick tip for you here. One that a lot of people ask when I'm traveling across the country, hey, I want to go buy my first rod and reel, or I only have enough money to buy one rod and reel. What would you go buy, Edwin? And I put a lot of thought into it, and without a shadow of a doubt, if I had to buy one rod and reel, no matter if I'm fishing from a boat, if I'm fishing from the bank, a kayak, a canoe, a flat bottom, whatever you're fishing from, one rod and reel for bass fishing, it would be this setup right here. This is the Pro Qualifier reel. It's a 7 ball bearing reel. I've made my living with this reel for over, I want to say 16 years. The first 16 years of my career, it was with the Pro Qualifier reel, the 1.0. So now with the new Pro Qualifier 2.0 that they came out with a few years ago, it's a one-piece aluminum frame. Makes it really, really strong, yet really, really light. A lot lighter than the version I used for all those years competing. But with that said, it still has all the great features in it. It's still a 7 ball bearing reel. It's got the star drag. It comes in 3 different gear ratios. You've got a slow one, a medium one, and a fast one. But one of the things I love about it is the side plate comes off really simple. You pull this pin right here, I can twist that side plate, and I can fine tune my cast control with this. By pushing these in, they're off. When they're out, they're in the on position, or adding more resistance when you're casting, say, a lighter bait. I push them in if maybe I need to cast a little further with a heavier bait. I'm all the time messing with these to get it just perfect, to add some of that casting distance to my day. But always make sure when you adjust them that it's opposite, because everything's in a balance. Sometimes if your reel's not casting properly, if you take that side plate off, a lot of times you've got one on and one off, and it will not cast no matter who you are. So be sure you do it in tandem, across from each other, so it keeps everything balanced. That's really, really a critical component. I like, a lot of times I'll have 3 of the weights in the on position, in the out position, and 2 of them in the off position. So that's how I set it up. A lot of times if I need to cast a little bit further, I'll take 1 set of them and put them in the off position also. But that snaps back on there really easy. Then I can just fine tune adjustment right here with that side plate. But that's the Pro Qualifier reel. That thing retails for 99 bucks. Just a really great reel. Durable. This thing will last years and years. You can tell this reel right here, all the scratches and marks on it. I've had it for a while. I still use it every day. I keep it here at the house, fish the pond a bunch with it. It'll travel in my boat. If I needed a slow gear ratio reel, I've got a bunch of these in the slow gear ratio reel for those times that I need to reel something a little bit slower. So then when it comes to a rod, that's kind of a touchy situation, because you've got topwaters in there, you've got crankbaits in there, but if I had to narrow it down to one rod, it would be a 7-foot medium heavy action rod. And I say that because that's the best for all the worlds. Spinnerbait, vibrating jig, frog, football jig, worm, it's the perfect rod for all those. But I can still use it to throw that weightless worm out there. I can still use it to throw that buzzbait, that topwater. I can use it for a square bill, crankbait. It will work in all those situations if I had to choose one rod. And why I would choose this rod right here, a Carbon Light 2.0, one, it's very light. When you're picking out a rod, you want a rod that's light, because that's just less fatigue. You want a rod that's sensitive. A good graphite rod is sensitive. This has got a special carbon coil technology in it that makes it very, very sensitive. You want a rod that's got good guides. You don't want your guides chipping. You don't want your guides adding weight. These are the Fuji Faz-Lite guides. It's a very light, very strong guide. And the more guides you have on a rod, the better the quality of the rod it is. You don't ever want your line touching the rod when you're fighting a fish, when you're bowed over. This has plenty of guides on it. That's one way to tell a quality rod over another rod, is just the amount of guides they put on it, because that's a pretty expensive component on the rod. Then your grip. This has got a wind grip on it. It's just a really special grip, come from the golf world, golf technology. It works well when your hand's sweaty, when you're out there in the rain. It's just a good grip, but it doesn't go all the way down, because if it went all the way down, then it adds weight. It's got a line keeper right there to hook your bait on. I really like it being behind here. It's kind of out of my way when I'm storing it or walking around with it. I've added this. This is just a cushion. It cushions your ribs when you set the hook. It also helps give the rod buoyancy. If it ever falls over the side, if you're in your canoe, your kayak, or kick it over the side of your boat, it's gonna float so you can reach down there and grab it. And then it's got a really cool air seat. They call this an air reel seat. It just is it takes a lot of weight out of the rod, yet it's very, very sensitive. You can still hold and feel the main part of that rod blank right there underneath your reel. It really fits in your hand really, really well. But that would be my setup. You know, you could give me this rod, I could go pay every bill I pay competing across the country with this setup. It's that good. I've actually got these carbon lights in this boat. You'll see them on my channel. You'll see me when I'm out there tournament fishing. I talk about them all the time. It's an excellent, excellent rod. Retails for 119 bucks. You will not find a better rod for that kind of money or with that kind of quality in it. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope this is a scenario, a setup that could work for you guys when you're having just to buy one rod and reel. This would be the setup that I would choose for you.